Good evening and welcome to Stupid O'Clock. I'm your host, John Scarborough, asking that profound question. What would you do for a Klondike bar? With me tonight is somebody I didn't expect to be here, actually, Joe Dog.
Yeah, well, just want to make sure everything's okay.
Oh, well,
Well, you know me. I gotta keep my fingers in the pie somehow.
I mentioned Klondike bars and he shows up. Okay, he shows up.
Yeah.
Also with me, Joe Bachman. I'm just ate up with Joe's tonight.
And I would tell you what I would do for a Klondike bar, but you guys would probably never get monetized and the show probably would be canceled.
And you know something? It's been hot all day. Klondike bar sounds really damn good right about
Actually, yeah, it does.
Okay. What Rich might be here. Let me see.
Let's put him in here, and he can say something when he feels like it.
There we go. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we got to op him in.
Yeah. Oh, I could use a Klondike bar too because it got a little warm down there today.
Yes, I imagine it did.
I would beat an MFer with another MFer for a Klondike bar right about now. Camera's off because I've got surgical tubing coming out of my face. So,
oh well,
that's even better. I mean, that'd give us something to talk about.
Rich is the Borg. Resistance is futile. It would be assimilated. Okay.
Well, thanks for being here, Rich. Even if you're not feeling that great.
Oops.
Okay, thought I was drunk.
Really? What is that?
But hopefully this week I find out exactly what the hell they pulled out of my face.
It's a long lost twin.
On my birthday, I would have believed it. On my birthday, I would have believed that it was a long lost twin trying to cut itself out of my face.
So you went down to LibertyCon today.
Yeah.
So how's that going? You see Dan, I take it.
I have seen Dan twice.
Really? I guess he was busy.
I mean, I saw Stephanie twice for about 15 minutes between, if you combine the two. I talk longer to Les Johnson than I have Stephanie. Oh, and we have confirmed the guest of honor for 2025 HallowCon.
Who?
Well, I'm not going to give it away, but there's a ring to his name. That's where I'm going to leave it.
So you invited the dingling?
Maybe.
The guy that invented the Ring doorbell?
No, I wish.
He invited Sean Austin from Goonies.
Every time Rich talks now, I'm just going to start moving my lips so that it looks like the bad Japanese English dubs.
Your tiger style is no match for my dragon kung fu. And I probably just made Thesis twitch if he's watching. I'm sorry.
That's going down way too smooth tonight. Picked up a bottle of, they call it Strawberry Blonde. It's from the Indiana Whiskey Company that they use their new strawberry whiskey to make. It's like a little strawberry cocktail.
Ooh.
And yeah, it's smooth and it's dangerous.
Oh, but yeah, we've been con talking and meeting some interesting people.
Now, are you just promoting HallowCon there, or are you
Yeah.
taking like signups for the visitors and stuff there too? Or
We're promoting and you know selling people for for this year and looking for authors for next year. It's going pretty good. Chris is handling the job very well.
awesome.
Oh,
You look beat, Joe.
I am. I'm exhausted. Yeah, it's a wonderful, beautiful air-conditioned building with a mezzanine. We're on the mezzanine. Problem is, the mezzanine faces west.
So you get all the afternoon
Ooh,
sun through the big 20-foot high windows.
Yeah,
that's hot. That's bright. That's just not a good time.
Unless you're into that kind of thing. I mean, or afraid of vampires. I mean,
yeah, that's the same place to run for vampires for sure. And right now, it's probably lined up with gin rummy players.
Oh, they got their gin rummy tournament going on tonight.
Oh yeah.
They have an eyelash that keep wanting to try and betray me, and I can't. There, I think I finally got him. There we go.
Don't tell me you've reached such an old age your eyelashes are starting to fall out.
Oh, mine have always been trying to fall out and betray me, and makes my wife mad because I don't have to use mascara to get the nice curl to my eyelashes. They just naturally do it.
you're in that same boat that I am.
Well, I've got eyebrows hairs that betray me. I was sitting there one night and scratched my pulled on my eyebrow. Damn thing came out to about right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Yeah,
where the hell did you come from?
Yep.
a couple of years ago, getting my haircut, apparently my eyebrows were making the um hairstylist twitch so much. She's like, "Sir, can I trim your eyebrows?" I'm like, "I don't care. Go for it."
Yeah, I've got the lovely little unibrow patch right here, and there was a girl I used to go to get my hair cut at the Walmart in Valparaiso, and she'd always tell me, one of these days I'm gonna get that off there. I said, no, you're not. Keeps that little spot warm. And I stopped there the one day to get a haircut, and she was busy. She already had someone in the chair and another customer that was waiting for her in the lobby. So I just took the next available person because I was just going in getting the buzz. It was summertime, and they did the buzz and they're washing my hair, and all of a sudden I feel something really hot right here. And I open my eyes, and there she is standing over me going, the wax is already there.
Gotcha.
You might as well let me do it. Ah, yeah, do it. Rip it.
The one that's always threatened to pull it.
Yep.
She says, "I got him."
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yep. She ripped that off, looked at me, and went, I told you I was going to get that fucker off there someday.
Oh,
I've shaved that area longer than I've had to shave my mustache and beard.
luckily I've never had to do that.
See, I'll get one gray hair right in that area, and that's the one that'll end up being super long. And the little bugger just pops up overnight somehow. It's like he eats some Miracle Grow and just poof, there he is.
Well, I've come back after a haircut, my ear itching, and I reach and I pull a hair that comes out to about right here, and I'm going, did they not freaking see that?
Yeah.
Did you?
Well, hair. Hey, when the hair's growing over the ears, no, I can't see it. You know me, I wait till, I'm almost ready to donate the hair before I get a haircut. Of course, John, you remember me at Chattacon and all that before I took over HallowCon. I had hair down the middle of my back, Joe. Took over HallowCon, first thing did, shaved up the scraggly beard, and everybody's going, why did you do that? I said, got to look respectable now.
You do?
Yep.
What, you think that's actually going to fool anybody?
Well, the new people.
You guys see how I let my hair go for a while and stuff like that. It was always funny watching the attorneys coming in, looking at the front of the classroom going, why is this huge, ignorant, effing redneck going to teach me something about computers?
Why is Thor's hippie cousin up at the front of the class?
Because he knows more about it than your ass does. Oh. But as you can tell, my shelf's bare back here.
Mm-hmm.
I've had people walk past my table, stop, lean back, and look over their shoulder like, and then walk back up under their body and go, is that a SpaceX Raptor engine? Yeah. Where did you get one that big? Printed it. It's huge. I said, yeah, that's what she tells me.
Surprised you didn't take the X with you, too.
It's too big. There ain't enough room on the table. I sort of like the way it looks sitting there like that.
On your shelf right now at the angle? Yeah.
The X of my coffee maker.
Gotta have the priorities.
Hey, which I can't use because the 3D printer, if I run the 3D printer, my computer and monitors and all that, and make coffee, it trips the breaker.
Yeah, coffee makers are terrible.
I had a field office that if you ran the coffee maker and the microwave at the same time, it tripped the breaker.
Yeah.
Worked in
Really
an
kinda
office
makes
where you
me
thought
surprised.
about the microwave, it would trip the breaker. Not even use it, just think about it.
Yeah. I took
Where we live, our kitchen's that way.
I had a Mr. Coffee Maker I always took with me for National Guard and stuff like that. Because they would put you on command post, just out in the middle of nowhere. Generator, diesel fuel, and that's it. Jug of water, You had to run that thing. So I brought in the coffee maker, and just everybody was happier. Can't really say they was happy because we was out in the middle of nowhere shooting stuff all night. So.
Well, I could understand why. Oh, that's neat.
But you had to be careful with that stuff because if you had lights going and coffee makers, and sometimes we had heaters, so depending on where we were at.
I have that problem in my kitchen. When I fire over the microwave, it trips the breaker. I thought, walked in there and I looked around, then I looked into the laundry room, went back and looked and saw my washing machine was on its own 20 amp breaker. Kitchen's on 15s. I said, So yeah, now there's an extension cord running from behind the washing machine around to the microwave.
Yeah, I'm really kind of surprised I haven't blown the fuse in the kitchen running the coffee maker and the microwave at the same time.
Oh, you still got fuses?
Yep, got the lovely screw-in fuses.
You know, light bulbs will screw in there.
Really?
Did I say that out loud?
I'm not going to find out because I don't plan on, getting myself fried like that. I have better plans for ways to go out in a blaze of glory.
Dimmable LED.
Yeah.
All right, somebody needs to cut it off. It's too bright. Something's too bright. That would be a great little idea for a few on a breaker box. Have lights across the top. And once the draw gets to a certain point, they start turning yellow. And then when you're pushing the breaker's about to trip, it's red, you go, okay, I gotta figure something to turn off.
Yeah. Have one for the main and then, little mini LED strips underneath each breaker to show the power draw. It's not a bad idea.
See, I'm a Jane. How was it, Wally Coyote? Wasn't Wiley? One of them. Genius or...
Yeah, it was Wiley. That was Wiley when he was facing off against Bugs Bunny.
Wile E. Coyote, super genius. Womp womp. I like the sound of that.
Now, I saw one episode of the cartoon. The coyote catches the roadrunner. He's got him by the neck, and he's standing there looking at him. And he looks at the camera. He looks at Roadrunner. He looks at the camera. Holds up a sign. Now what am I supposed to do? Is Carl and Donna still here?
I just started to bring my mouse over to look to see, where the viewers are at, and this isn't my show, so I can't see that.
One is in the YouTube Stupid O'Clock page. Yeah, I got a message from Carl that me and him have to have a confab after the convention.
You have to have a what?
A confab. Conversation and fabrication. There's some excitement went down.
You keep kind of just cutting out a little bit, Joe Dog.
Okay, is that better?
There you go.
Heard some excitement happen last night.
Ah, yes. I don't know if that was a firework outside or if one of the cats just demolished something.
Oh, they already started practicing for 4th of July?
As soon as the 2 week, because our town gives 2 weeks before, As soon as that date hits, they start going.
I don't know. I'm afraid to go look at what the cost of fireworks is now.
How those little snappets, the little things you throw on the ground and they pop?
Yeah.
Those are up to like $3 a box in some places.
Damn. Used to be $1.
Yeah. Although I saw a video the other day, and this is absolutely genius. I wish I would have thought of this when I was a kid. That was a firework. Little girl was playing with army men,
Oh, yeah.
and she started using the little snappets as artillery fire.
Yeah.
And her dad's like, "Here, who's gonna get hit by the mortar strike?" And she's like, "This guy is." And she throws it down. It hits the one next to him, and he's like, "Oh, that's what we call collateral damage, honey."
It's still fun. Yeah. She's genius.
Like, how many? I never thought of that as a kid with those. It's perfect.
I'm of the generation of a 8-pound sledgehammer and the roll of paper caps. And the police showing up just afterwards for shots fired. Hey, you won't believe how loud that is.
Oh, I can imagine.
Because you pop the whole damn roll at once.
Ball peen hammer.
Yeah, the ball peen's when you go.
No. Depends on the size of ball peen hammer. That's because, some of them, the back end of that's over an inch across.
8-pound sledgehammer. Make sure you get them son bitches.
Mm-hmm.
Do it just right, you'll blow a hole in the sidewalk. Glad it wasn't my house. My dad would have killed me. So what's been going on your side?
Not a whole lot. Got vacation coming up next week, and next week. Taking Thursday off all the way through the holiday.
From the 27th to the 5th?
Yep.
You're gonna make Friday a Monday.
No, I'm going to be off that Friday also.
Oh, okay.
No, because the contractor can't work from noon Wednesday all the way through sunrise Monday. So Friday's kind of one of those days of that kind of Friday. You either go into the office and just catch up on paperwork, or you just take the day off and get the long weekend. When I was IT manager at NDOT, when we had a Friday like that, I'd come in and work because I knew the district would be a ghost town, and I'd be able to do more stuff in that 8 hours than I would be able to do the whole 2 weeks prior.
Oh, yeah. Oh. You heard about our bridge fiasco here in town, didn't you, Joe?
No.
We got a freeway project coming in, and they're replacing bridges. They have the new wonderful concrete beams set in.
Yep.
Then they did a test on them. After they were set, they wouldn't hold up the road deck if they put the road deck on it.
Ooh, some company's going to get removed from the approved list for that one.
Yeah, being they were ready to deck the bridge.
Because I'm pretty sure, even for NDOT, that requires a actual cert from the manufacturer stating, here's the material we use, here's how we, it conforms to your standards, and here's how our tests came out on it. So yeah,
I would be curious to see the engineering behind it. But I know the reason they have to up that bridge requirement is because this bridge goes over the interstate, and there's South Terrace and North Terrace, which are the roads that run alongside the interstate. And there's a 4-way intersection where this bridge goes over the interstate, where it hits South Terrace and North Terrace. There's 2 4-way intersections, traffic lights, all sorts of stuff. So there's traffic sitting on that bridge for long periods of time, including its semi trucks and whatever else gets off the interstate.
Yeah.
So it's got to hold a pretty good load for a long time.
Yeah.
Because the bridge going across is 2 lanes on either side. 2 lanes going east, 2 lanes going west.
And
you can stack a pretty good amount of traffic on that bridge.
Well, it was actually they were widening this one. This was McBrien Road. They're widening it to 5 lanes.
You're putting a turn lane in the middle? I think McBrien's always had a turn lane, but I might be wrong.
Well, McBrien is a 2-lane road till it hits the bridge. Well, it was a 2-lane bridge on McBrien beforehand. It's now a 5-lane bridge with a two-lane road coming to it and a 2-lane road leading off of it. Future development is what they're calling.
It's that intersection right there with McBrien has always been a major intersection because A, North Terrace, B, and South Terrace, and then B, there's a big shopping center right there that has been a major shopping center since before I was born. So.
And NDOT's been doing that with pretty much all the bridge work on I-65 all the way down through the state, because they're slowly expanding I-65 to be at minimum 3 lanes from basically just south of Ridge Road all the way down to the state line. But you guys streamed to Twitter also, right?
Yeah, we streamed to Twitter.
Yeah, it might not be for much longer.
Why?
X will soon limit the ability to live stream to premium subscribers.
Shit.
Elon. There goes that traffic. McBrien used to be 2.5 lanes, or almost 3. Well, 3.5 lanes. It used to be 2 lanes going south and 1.5 going north, and the half was a turn lane.
That still hurts my head to hear it called half a lane.
Well, hang on a minute. Let me show you the picture I'm looking at here, and you'll understand the description. Okay. Here's the 2 lanes going southbound. Wait, come on. There we go. All right. Here's the 2 lanes going south. Here's the 1 lane going north. And then you can see the 2 half lanes down through
okay.
Here. Why this was... Oh, I know why this is no lane. Because that.
Yeah.
They had to funnel it down.
Okay. So, yeah, we would call that... At least in Indiana, we would have dubbed that the suicide lane. Or just as a center lane. I've never heard it called half lane. It makes sense, but when you said that, I was just envisioning, instead of like a 12-foot wide lane just having a 6 foot wide lane. I'm like, how the hell is that supposed to work?
Now, isn't that the bridge? That's the Moore Road one. That's the one that's having problems right now, right?
Yeah. Well, they've already got the old bridge pulled out and the new spans in, but they lost 2 months of redoing it
Mm-hmm.
because one, they had to wait on the new things to be made properly.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of an inverted diamond interchange?
That
Yes.
sounds familiar.
That's the one where you approach the bridge, and when you get to the bridge at a traffic light, you got to turn left, and then you go on the British side of the road.
Okay. Yeah. There is one that I think is actually set up like that. It's right off I-65 down by, I want to say it's mile marker 133. I don't know when I see it. 'Cause it's not within our district, so it's south
You don't
of,
have to deal with it that much.
yeah. No, so the first time I dealt with it, we were just getting off the interstate to use the restroom, and it was the most jacked up interchange. Yep, this is it here.
They are confusing as hell.
So
They
there's
make
one.
sense once you
Yep.
figure out how it works.
Yeah, but when you first pull up to it, you're like, "What on God's green earth is this?" Yeah, this is the. You guys can pull that up. This is the interchange. So you actually, if you're coming southbound, and you're wanting to get on to 267, which turns into 400 south, you come around this way, and you're driving by yourselves on this side, and then crossing back over.
Yeah, that's kind of how they did. That's kind of how they did 2475.
Yeah,
Sort of.
yeah. It's just a jacked up little interchange, and it really kind of threw us for a loop first time we went through it, because I wasn't feeling the greatest that morning on the way down to our main office, and I was the one driving.
All right, I'll be right back. I've had a lot of fluid today. I hydrated a whole lot. I'm now overhydrated. So I will be back. I can figure out how to turn this shit off.
Oh, good Lord.
I was reading something today. There's a county down in Florida where one of the deputies arrested a woman, put her in the back of the police car, and then, told her, if you'll have sex with me, I'll let you out of the ticket. Everybody found out about it, and they busted this guy and disgraced the department, stuff like that. Well, they got all the new sheriff's deputies, the recruits, together in this garage, and they melted down the guy's badge in front of the new recruits.
Oh,
Woo!
Put it in a crucible and dropped it in a forge.
Oh, damn.
I came back to the right story.
Welcome back, Richie.
I'm like, yeah.
And
you disgrace the badge, and no one's ever going to wear that badge again. I like that.
no telling how many of the senior officers are wishing that it wasn't the badge, but the person that did it.
But I like the fact they had all the new recruits sit there and watch it.
Yeah, because it kind of just solidifies the, hey, you don't want this to be you.
And they put the video on Twitter. Yeah.
Excellent. So I think I mentioned on here a week or two ago about the Pizza Huts closing in Northwest Indiana. And Pizza Hut still does the Book It program.
You're right.
Where,
read so many books, get a free pizza.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the kids actually got their vouchers like a week or two before the Pizza Huts in our area closed. A lot of the local pizza restaurants have started stepping up and saying, hey, if you have a voucher for a free personal pan, bring it in. We're going to honor it,
right up to the time we close. So
yep.
Be quick about it, though.
Well, no, what he's saying is other chains are saying, all right, Pizza Hut's closed. They can't do it.
Yeah.
We'll do it in their stead.
Yeah. Wasn't it a personal pan? The little 6-inch pizza? So, no, I don't think anybody else makes those, do they?
At least 3 chains in LaPorte do.
Yeah.
Little Caesars has them as calls them crazy bites, but they're only almost like a biscuit with pizza sauce on it.
Well, I was said like a blueberry muffin or something like that, or a cupcake.
Yeah.
Hey, pizza cupcakes are kicking. But you got to get the big muffin tin to do them right.
So.
Yeah. John, also, not this Thursday, but next Thursday, Les Johnson for Stupid O'Clock.
Oh,
cool.
We can't have more Johnson?
I was waiting for someone to make that joke. I wasn't going to make it.
Now without getting an NC-17 rating.
Darn.
Well, by then, Rich might have his, tubes out, so we could have more Richard.
Plenty of Dick and Johnson. Now we need to find a guy named Peter and a guy named Willie.
Wang. I could find a bunch of my old Army buddies, and you could have a bunch of privates.
But are they first class?
Always. Yes.
Oh, John, I couldn't get my phone up in time to get a picture of it, but broke down on the side of the road were 2 of the new armored personnel carriers. I mean, they're freaking huge. Bigger than what the SWAT teams use.
Oh, the big wheeled vehicles? Yeah. Probably rhinos.
Yeah. But that's what it was. Well, one of them was broke down. This one guy got out of his truck. I saw him searching around. And I saw him on the seat, grabbed his combat helmet and put it on. And got out of the truck.
Yeah.
because they were in uniform.
Right.
So in uniform, out of that, aren't they required to have cover?
Yes. But you're also, when you're driving armored vehicles nowadays, you're supposed to be wearing a helmet while you're in the vehicle. So in case you hit a bump. You know that one bridge? It's on 24, like you're going to Nashville right before you hit Moccasin Bend.
Yeah.
This time of year, National Guard would always be traveling. The expansion joints are expanded. You hit that thing in a tactical truck, it will throw you into the ceiling. And because of all the tactical trucks having armored roofs and such, they make everybody wear a helmet. In the event of a rollover, you don't hit your head on something, that sort of thing. And
Well, it looked like he was trying to find his cover to go work on the other truck. So he's walking around up and down the freeway with the Army helmet on. I just thought,
part of the
that's
job.
going to be hell to explain. You lost.
Depending what neighborhood that's going through, I mean, he might need it.
No, he probably had his cover in there somewhere and just couldn't find it.
That's what I mean. He couldn't find his cover, and as hot as it was, having to put that helmet on the side of the freeway.
The hat ain't much cooler.
Well, at least it may let a little heat through.
Yeah, but the helmet's got vents, and it's for letting air in and out. The hats stick to your head. So.
Mm.
And they expose your ears, so you get sunburned ears.
But yeah, I thought of you going, yeah, John would probably beep the horn, wave at him.
I'm not that mean.
Do what?
I'm not that mean. I've been that guy on this side of the road with a broke down piece of legacy equipment. Legacy, like great granddad drove it in World War II.
Air Force is now talking about a second century-old vehicle, aircraft. C-130.
The C-130, yeah, that's almost as old as B-52.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, C-130s will probably outlive
the B-52s.
Because it's just such a good truck.
Good workhorse.
And now Love Shack is stuck in my head.
How'd you get Love Shack?
B-52.
Oh. Now, everybody thinks...
I'm on a higher medication, so my brain's making weirder connections.
Everybody thinks, the B-52s are named after the bombers. No. It's named after the girls' haircuts. Bouffants. B-52. And that's your musical trivia for the night.
Yeah. Well, as tall as those bouffants were, the B-52s probably had to fly around them.
Do what?
As tall as those haircuts were, B-52s probably had to fly around them.
They had to fly in the C-130s, but they had to be loaded in on stretchers so that their hair would fit.
Hanging out the back.
Oh, I posted it in Stupid O'Clock about the when you're a combatant against the United States, and you wonder why that C-130 is making left-hand turns overhead. John knows what that is.
I miss that being in the command centers, and you could go through all the different channels on the big screen. and you could see all the various cameras that were transmitting to command over satellites and stuff like that. And you could watch Predator drones tracking people, and watch the C-130s because they've got the same gear that Predator pretty much does for tracking people. And the drones would fly over, and sometimes people would notice them, sometimes they wouldn't, depending on the noise. You know, if the traffic noise, they wouldn't hear the drones. When the C-130 is going over, whoa, everybody's kind of looking up at them, and when they see it doing the left turn, they're like, and if it's close enough, it's usually they stay out of rifle range, so they're not that close. But sometimes you can see the guns hanging out the side. If you can see the guns hanging out the side, you're probably not the target.
Yeah.
If you look up and it just looks like a C-130, you're probably the target.
Or standing real damn close to it.
I had to pull security on the airfield when I was in Iraq. I'm driving down the flight line, and one of the places we had to patrol was near where the special ops guys kept the C-130 gunships. Drive by some nights after they'd come back from a mission, and they'd be sitting there with snow shovels, shoveling brass out. And you're like, ooh, they had a good night.
Oh, well, you heard the story about, I think it was Nicaragua. They were pinned down. And, they called in for an airstrike. The C-130 shows up. And they say, which building is that? Okay, yeah, we got it in sight. What window are they in? He's on the second floor. What window's he in? That's how accurate they were.
Well, it depends on which gun they're using. Because with the 105 howitzer, you don't have to be that accurate.
Yeah, that one's more of a to whom this may concern than...
While you're in the area.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, the 40 Mike Bofors, yeah, that's the one you can probably put in the window if they're still using 40 Mike Mikes. They've been going through a lot of iterations testing weapon systems on it. They got rid of all the 7.62 miniguns because apparently they weren't that effective at long ranges and such. Went to 20 millimeters. Then they went to 25s. And apparently now they've got some sort of 30 millimeter cannon, and I'm not sure if it's replacing the Gatling gun or the 40 millimeter Bofors. So
It's the A1. It's the A10 gun.
Well, there's two 30 millimeters in the U.S. inventory. The big shell is the one the A10 shoots. The smaller shell is the one the Apache gunship shoots. And they're just the Apache's got a smaller bullet and a smaller casing. A10's got the bigger casing with the bigger bullet.
Yeah, the A10 can reach out and touch you several times.
They I saw this one thing, and I've only seen. I've never been able to find the picture again. I wish I could. But they came out with this thing. The Navy was experimenting with it. It was going to be a stealth bomber for carriers, and it was colloquially named the A-12, and it was going to replace the A-6 Intruder. And you can find pictures of this thing. It's a wedge-shaped stealth fighter.
It's a flying wing.
It is a flying wing. And it's got a straight back end, and then the nose comes off. And apparently it was going to be designed where you could put pilots in it or not, and then fly it like a drone. And it got canceled. I don't know whatever happened to it.
No, it's in service. They launched two of them, they launched one of them. Then they launched an A10. F-18 double-seater with it, and the guy in the back seat's flying the drone.
I haven't seen that, but the Air Force was looking at it and said, they came up with a version of it. And I've seen this picture once and haven't seen it ever again. It looked kind of like that, but it had the bat-shaped tail. The tail slanted back. And it was supposed to be the A-10's replacement. And it was going to have some unique... Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
It was going to have some unique engines in it that it could do almost Mach 1 to get to where it was going. But once it got there, it could drop down into a loiter mode, which used like 1/3 of the fuel that they would normally use for falling. And then it would have a weapons bay underneath it. And it was basically going to carry the same weapons that were on the AH-64 Apache gunship. It was going to have a drop-down 30mm cannon, chain gun, a rocket launcher, and it would be able to fire the Hellfire-type missiles. But what they were really interested in at the time, they were going to have one of the big rocket launchers from the AH-64, but it was going to have the newer style guided rockets, which are like mini guided missiles. So it would be able to carry 32 of those, which would be really nasty. That's one of the nastiest weapons on the Apache gunship, is the rockets.
All right. I hate to do this, guys. I'm
No, you're not.
fighting sleep. I'm fighting sleep.
No. You got to stay here at least 5 more minutes.
Okay. Oh, but yeah, thanks for handling the show, John. I appreciate it. And we'll see y'all Thursday.
I know why Joe showed up, because I put that comment in Stupid O'Clock that this may be the last Stupid O'Clock show.
Well, it is the last Stupid O'Clock show this week.
Well, if I'm running it, there's a higher than average chance this show will get canceled. Okay.
That's exactly what Bachman and I were thinking when we popped over here.
So we may need to go save the show.
I figured that would get somebody's attention.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. But yeah, good night, y'all. I'll be out of con mode and rested by then. So I will holler at y'all later. It's midnight.
Catch you later, Joe Dog.
I'm surprised
Rest
Dan.
well, feel better.
You're surprised who?
I'm surprised Dan didn't show up.
Hey, it's Saturday night. Dan's at a convention. They've got alcohol.
Yep.
Either one or two things has happened. He's done passed out, or he's not coherent enough to be on the show.
Cognizant to know what time it is.
Yeah. All right. We'll holler at y'all later.
All right. See you, Joe Dog.
All right.
No, I could see Dan, asking somebody what time it is, and somebody goes, "It's Stupid O'Clock." He's like, "Oh shit! Oh shit!" Oh, Chris, hang on a minute. Are you at LibertyCon, or are you just guessing? I thought about driving down there just to say hi to everybody, but I had to be here. Yeah. Okay. Yes to 1 or yes to 2? Yes to 1, you're at the convention. Yes to 2, you're just guessing.
Yeah, yes doesn't work for a true false.
Yeah. Yes, I'm there. Oh, he is at. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, he is actually there. Okay. Actually, yes does work for true false if both of them apply.
Okay.
Good stuff.
What did it say? Raspberry what?
What? Raspberry? Where the hell did you see raspberry?
I'm not wearing my glasses. You're on the smaller screen.
Okay. It's Robert Mondavi's private selection. It is Cabernet Sauvignon red wine.
Okay, Cabernet Sauvignon. Okay.
In
And I'm also dyslexic.
it was barrel aged in an old bourbon barrel.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's one of my favorites. Just because it has that nice smoky oak flavor. Just a hint of bourbon. Oh, what is it? There's a spur of the moment spades game. Authors are talking to each other. Room parties going on. And the hotel bar and lobby are packed. What, hotel bar? Where is the hotel bar? I was at one of the first sci-fi conventions that they had in that hotel when it first opened. It was one of the Chatacons. I can't remember which one, but it's back in the late 80s. And they have remodeled the hotel since then. So I don't know where anything is anymore. I think the bar was upstairs above the above registration, if I remember correctly. And they used to have a pool downstairs from the lobby, and you could sit in the lobby seating and look out the big glass windows and watch everybody swimming in the pool, which was pretty cool for a convention. Got pictures of that somewhere I may have to bring up one day.
Spades is a game I have not played in a long time.
I just see people play it all the time in the military. I used to pack in my rucksack. I'd have a Ziploc bag with a set of cards in it. Get a set of bicycles, just for guys that get bored, didn't have anything to do. I'd toss them a pack of cards. Then there'd be a spades game. And yes, I'm not.
The last time I played a spades game that wasn't built into an operating system on a computer I had was college.
Show a kid a pack of cards these days, and they're looking for Pokemon characters and stuff.
Pretty much.
Which, don't laugh, I am really surprised that nobody has come up with a set of playing cards where the king, queen, and jack are all Pokemon characters. Pokemon.
They probably have a little kid go fish in old maid decks that are decked out with the various Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And crap like that.
I thought about that when I was in the military, was making a military version of a spades game. A deck of cards with your unit logo on the back, and then on the front would be the face cards, but the face cards would all be military themed. Like king would be a colonel, and queen would be the XO. And
I thought the queen would have ended up being a seaman.
that's the Navy version. Anyway. And then Jack would be a command sergeant major, of course. And then that's your royalty right there. And then all the different various face cards would be based on military things. Like one, of course, would be an E1 private, and so on and so forth. Oh, wait, what is he?
Bars, clusters, and stripes instead of
No, I'd use the regular faces, but most of the most of the themes on a deck of cards are actually military based. Spades are supposed to be a sword. Clubs are supposed to be clubs for beating on people. And, of course, diamonds and hearts. They all go back to the old tarot decks where, was it? Hearts were cups, if I remember correctly.
Hearts were cups. Diamonds were, well, what was now diamonds would have been pentacles.
Disc.
And then, yeah, swords were spades, and, clubs were staves.
Staves.
Staves or wands. I can't remember anymore whether it was staves or wands.
Staves and wands. Depends on who wrote the deck. I got to find that book one day, read it again. I had a very excellent book on tarot. It was all about the history of it and all the different decks you could get. Different variations for reading tarot as a tarot, tarot readings.
Your different layouts, your quick 3, your they had a couple different 5-card layouts, a couple different 7-card layouts,
and then the cross layouts and all that sort of stuff like that. One of the things I loved, just because they featured the Hanson Robert deck, and of course Crowley deck. I was at a French concern when I was stationed in Germany. We went there to train with the French, and in their concern, in their little gift shop they had in there, they had a set of French tarot cards, because apparently it's a game in France. I've
toured a lot of Europe, yeah.
And so I bought a set of French tarot cards, and then I've got a Hanson Robert deck somewhere. I never bought a Waite deck, and I never bought a Crowley deck either. Those were the ones everybody had. Everybody either had the Waite deck or the Crowley deck. The Hanson Robert deck, just the artwork is beautiful. If you can look it up on the internet. Was it Mary Hanson Roberts? Mary or Murray, I can't remember which. And she was an illustrator and just did beautiful. She also did a Alice in Wonderland illustrations for the Alice in Wonderland books. Did her own version of it, and it was just gorgeous illustrations.
Okay, I think I might know the deck you're talking about then. I do remember seeing something that was very similar to some of that old artwork.
Yeah, it's more my wife's area of expertise than mine is on tarot cards.
So I'm trying to find a good picture here. Oh, that's a pretty good one. Okay. No, I don't want feedback. Okay. You say quit moving all the buttons around this stuff. Present, share screen, that thing. There we go. Okay. And you see here, that's the artwork from the Hanson Roberts deck.
Ooh.
See if I can zoom in on some of the stuff over there. And yeah, just if they do it all steps. If I can do this, extremely rare. Oh wait, that's not a Hanson Roberts deck. Ooh, tarot gypsy cards from 1860. Guy wants $10,000 for them.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, that's all. Well, actually, it's only $9,995 US, or best offer.
Or best offer.
Yeah.
But your shipping cost is going to jack it up, yeah.
Oh my God. Mary Hanson Roberts is in the Wiki Furry Encyclopedia. I'm not sure. Oh, I didn't know she died 4 years ago. I did not know that. Yes, there is a Wiki Fur Encyclopedia just for furries.
I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as many of them that would be tied to the library and book community to begin with. That sounds something right in their jam.
Where's
Yep.
Skunk? Where's Skunk when I need him? Okay. The Russia-Ukraine war hit a milestone today. They have confirmed that Russia has lost over 8,000 tanks.
Woo-hoo.
Not armored personnel carriers, not various other armored vehicles or trucks or anything like that. Main
Specifically tanks.
tanks.
Oof.
8,000. See, let me see if I can do the math here correctly. The average Soviet main battle tank weighs about 40 tons. So 8,000 times 40 tons would be 320 million. Is my math correct? I'm putting the zero in the right space.
Pretty sure you are.
320,000 tons of tank. I remember when the Soviet Union was collapsing. There was a news story. Some guy sold. The military wasn't paying him, and just basically, so he quit and took his tank with him, and took it to a scrapyard and sold it to the scrapyard for vodka money. And
I was just thinking around this area that would have been a shit ton in scrap.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
40 tons of high quality steel. Yeah.
And I know people who would try to steal the tank just to do that too.
I remember.
Actually, they would try to steal two, one to scrap and then one to drive around while drunk off the booze they bought from scrap in the first one.
Oh, what was the World War II? I can't remember where it was. The Dutch couldn't transport dairy products because of the Nazis taking over most of Europe. So they stole armored vehicles from the Germans, loaded them up with dairy products, butter, cheese, that sort of stuff like that, and would use the armored vehicles to smuggle dairy products across the borders and sell them to the people that didn't have dairy products under the Nazis. And I'm trying to remember what they call them Panzer Boys. The people that were driving these armored vehicles full of dairy products. Which I just like, yeah, I could see. I got a bunch of friends who would do stuff like that. How are we going to get all this butter and cheese? Those people that need it. I got an idea.
I have an idea. It may not be a good idea, but I have an idea.
No, I have an epic idea. Just because if we make it, we're going to be famous. If we don't,
We'll be infamous.
If we don't make it, we'll be famous. If we make it, we'll be famous. So it's. Oh. Have you ever heard of the slowest aircraft carrier landing in history?
No.
Okay. The airship USS Los Angeles was conducting an experiment with the aircraft carrier USS Saratoga to see if they could land and refuel a Zeppelin on an aircraft carrier. There's pictures of it. It's kind of famous, but they had to work out all the tactics for actually bringing a Zeppelin in and attaching it to the back of the aircraft carrier and running the fuel line up to the nose and stuff like that. And it's just the only problem was when the airship was moored to the back of the aircraft carrier, they had to keep the aircraft carrier moving forward, even once it was moored and secured and everything. Because if the wind came in from the sides or the rear, it would blow the Zeppelin around into the conning tower of the aircraft carrier. And there was no other way. And they wound up building airship servicing vessels just for this, with a big tower right in the middle, sticking up off the top of the ship so that no matter which direction the wind was coming from, it wouldn't hit anything. So, but there was everyone pictured at the time that they could land it like an airplane on an aircraft carrier, and it was just the wind was too terrible for it. So, same thing with the Empire State Building. That big mast on top of the Empire State Building was put there to land airships.
Mooring line.
Mooring line is a big mooring mast, and there's actually when it was built, there were fuel lines running up through the Empire State Building to the top of that mooring mast, so that they could refuel Zeppelins and stuff like that. Well, the problem was the wind was too bad, and there was just no way to secure the damn Zeppelin up there. And getting off the Zeppelin and onto the top of the Empire State Building was interesting.
To say the least.
Yes, they showed it. They had this little stairwell, the nose of the little drop-down stair system on the nose of the Zeppelin. So that once it moored, the stairs could drop down and the people could walk down this little single file stairwell to get onto the observation deck of the Empire, or the landing deck, I think they called it, of the Empire State Building. You know, it's like, can you imagine trying
that would be a no for me.
Can you imagine trying to do that with a 60-mile-an-hour wind?
Yeah, that'd be a hard no for me.
Yeah. They actually show that fictitiously. It's a CGI thing. If you ever watch the beginning of the movie Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow, one of the very first scenes of the movie is a Zeppelin, Hindenburg 3, landing at the Empire State Building. And they actually showed a pretty good representation of what it would look like.
Yeah, no.
There was a Wolverine comic book that I've got it somewhere. I'll have to dig it up one day. But it took place during the Gulf War, and he had to get in touch with Nick Fury of S.H.I.E.L.D. And it turns out, he says, wait a minute, where is the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier refueling now that the Gulf War is going on? Because all the refueling aircraft are supporting the Gulf War. So where's the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier refueling? He says, it's refueling off the top of the Empire State Building. So he took his Harley up in the service elevator of the Empire State Building and assaulted the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier with a Harley Davidson. This was back when Wolverine was really cool. Oh, he didn't take it up in the service. He took it up in the regular elevator, not the service elevator. because there was some lady that worked in one of the law firms there in the Empire State Building that goes, that motorcycle should be in the service elevator. It says, and you're not supposed to be smoking those smelly cigars in here. He goes, the motorcycle ain't greasy, the cigar ain't lit, and the service elevator only goes up so high, and I need to go up to the top floor. So,
speaking of Wolverine, I need to look up when Deadpool and Wolverine is coming out. I know it's this year. I just don't remember. July 25th.
So about a month. Matter of fact, exactly a month.
Mm-hmm.
Well, exactly a month for us East
Couple
Coasters.
days, yeah.
For you Central Coasters, you still got another 40 minutes.
Yep. Looks like I'll be going in the movie theaters for the first time in a long time. Oh. And how did I used to sit and game for hours on end? Good Lord.
The same way you can sit for hours on end and do your pyrography. It's something that just hyper focused you, and you didn't realize it until you got up to go to the bathroom. Like, oh, I can't feel my leg.
No serenade, no fire brigade, just a pyromania.
Mm-hmm. And even the pyrography I can't sit and do for hours on end like I used to. I blame that on the pinched nerve a few years ago, though. Okay, that was cats. I know that wasn't fireworks. Ooh,
Yeah, occasionally.
It's time for Northwest Indiana's game show over by you guys too, huh?
Yep.
Occasionally I hear shooting fireworks, and I cannot tell you how many times I've been tempted to break out the military grade stuff.
Serious putty is not a firework, John.
It can be.
It depends on how much
It's the
and
application.
who you've got tied to it to make the colors.
Strange enough, you can actually order the stuff to build your own fireworks online. And they will send you the chemicals for copper and see, what were they? I used to remember all this stuff. So copper makes green, if I remember correctly. And I can't remember what you put in it for red.
Thought that was iron oxide for red.
I was thinking so too, but I can't swear to it. I think iron oxide, makes it sparkly. So, then you got aluminum powder, which makes for the very loud bangs because it's a booster. And then potassium. There's some sort of salt, potassium. I want to say potassium chloride, but I'm not sure that's right either. That makes the green / or blue, and I can't remember what purple was, or blues and purples. And you can order all the tubes and the wrapping paper and the fuses.
Barium for the bright white, or for bright greens. Deep reds was strontium. Blues is copper. Yellows is sodium. Brilliant orange is strontium and sodium. Silvery white titanium, zirconium, and magnesium. And lavender was copper and strontium. According to the USGS, what minerals produce what colors in fireworks?
Thank you. if you ever cut up a firecracker, just standard, little dinky firecracker, if you ever cut the powder out of it or cut the fuse open, it kind of has a silvery gray-black color. The silver is, if I'm not mistaken, aluminum powder, and to give you the more bang. I don't know what it is about aluminum powder that makes it such a booster for explosives.
Same thing for the old Estes rockets.
I don't know if they used aluminum in that, but
I know they use something that made the gunpowder more of a gray than the normal.
there was a what is it? Ammonium percolate, I think, was what they used for the solid rocket fuel. But I might be wrong. I know that they use it in solid. It's an oxidizer of some sort.
Yeah, I remember not timing the fuse on the modified firework I made out of that, and yeah, I still have a faint scar on my arm from the burn.
I'm going to try that one day. I've never actually made my own gunpowder.
Lost my eyebrows. Got a big burn on the arm. Got a big burn on the stomach. That sucker took forever to heal.
Oh, I bet.
And the house reeked of burnt hair for a month.
A friend of mine, Scott Mitchell, they were having a bottle rocket war. They were shooting, and he owned cargo pants, military issue camo pants. Had an entire gross of bottle rockets in one pocket.
Oh, this sounds bad.
And it lit up. And here, his whole pocket exploded, and he's trying to yank bottle rockets out by the sticks, and they're just going everywhere. I think he's still got a scar from that shit.
So when I worked at Pertano, it was a subcontractor for Comcast.
Nellie Furtado?
No, not Furtado. Pertano.
Or as I like to call her, Nellie Furtaco. And somebody goes, "It's Furtado." Okay. You have your fantasies. I'll have mine.
Yep. But it was right around 4th of July, and one of the supervisors brought in fireworks, brought in bottle rockets.
As opposed to a pizza party.
Well, we're standing in line, waiting to get our equipment, and you keep seeing the line jump in various sections. Because little assholes laying them on the ground in the warehouse and lighting them off at us. Then someone went into the bathroom, thought they were safe, forgot that, the door had a gap about like this.
Oh.
He's fire them off in there. Well, a couple days later, we're in training, doing in-class training. And one of the other supervisors comes back here and goes, "I'm heading to the bathroom back here." And this other supervisor was also named Joe. He goes, "If Joe comes back here and he asks where I'm at, you all have not seen me." All right. He heads off to the bathroom. About 45 seconds later, here comes Joe. "Hey, Bob come through here?" One of the guys up front goes, "Yep, he's back there in that bathroom." "All right, thanks." Starts giggling as he's carrying more bottle rockets in his hand. Laid down 5 of them on the ground and lit them all.
Oh.
Yeah. I can't say what was said during that.
I found
especially as Bob came running back through, still trying to pull his drawers up, going, "I'm gonna kill you."
We made a.
I take it Bob was the least liked supervisor.
No, actually, we all love Bob.
We made a bottle rocket launcher out of a piece of aluminum siding. It's basically just big L-shaped bracket. It was all we made. We would take the fuse off the bottle rocket, hang over, and before we'd put this thing, we would run a piece of cannon fuse down the lip of this thing. And then take each bottle rocket and put it on top of this thing with the fuse hanging over the cannon fuse. and it was 6 foot long. You could do an entire gross bottle of rockets. Just like that. And then it would launch the first 20 or 30 that way. But then the flames would get fairly intense, and the whole thing would just go up in one big whoosh.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty good. But my favorite were the Saturn missile batteries. It's like a box with bottle rockets in it. We used to take punks, which were the sticks, looks like incense. It's what you light your fireworks with. We'd attach one to the fuse and tape it on with some cellophane tape, light it, and just set it out on the side of the road somewhere. 7.5 minutes later. My favorite ones were the 24s because you could actually stick them in your pockets.
Nice.
Yeah, they weren't that big. But they did have a 36. They had I never got to shoot one. Was a 128. It was the size of a half a shoebox. It was
Yeah.
And I always wanted to buy one though, but it's just bulky. And for what it costs, you could buy 4 of the 36s. So
Well, where we live, there's a town damn near right, almost in the middle between Bachman and I. Right across the highway from each other are 2 competing warehouses. Phantom and was it Burnham?
I think so.
Yeah, you go in there, you spend the money that you're spending, and then they write a number on your receipt and tell you that's the amount that you get to go back in and pick for free. Yeah, it's my brother-in-law and I spent way too much money on fireworks, although we didn't have to buy fireworks for about 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Last time I bought fireworks for the house, I got some mortars. And one of the mortars decided it.
Excuse me just a moment.
Yep.
Yes, Commissioner Gordon.
To the Batmobile.
What is? Okay. Child abduction Amber Alert for Valdosta, Georgia, which is on the other side of the state of Georgia where I am. They're closer to Disney World than they are to me. Let's see. License plate number 2024 black Toyota Camry. All right.
Yeah, gotta love when they send those alerts out at night. You're dead asleep, and all of a sudden your phone starts going nuts.
I do live fairly close to I-75, so if it were daytime, I might actually be over there close enough to do something about it. But unless he shows up in my driveway.
Yeah. I shot off a mortar. It decided it wanted to take the tube up with it. Didn't realize that at first until I heard it go off, and it sounded like a different thunk. I looked down, and the tube's missing. It barely cleared the house before it exploded.
You remember me telling you that the 36 one, or no, the 128 was the big one when I was a kid?
Mm-hmm.
Here's a 750 shot one.
Whoo!
Good Lord. What is it? Oh, hey, look at here. Wait, go back one. That ain't working. Darn it. Let's see, where's the YouTube? Why will it not let me?
And
you gotta play video.
there you go. to anyone who owns drones, if I recall correctly, putting any type of bottle rocket, Roman candle, any shit like that on your drones to try something is, I believe, a crime. I believe it's a federal offense.
I don't see why.
Because I think they lumped it in with even if you own your own helicopter or plane, you're not supposed to take explosives on them or something. I gotta find the story. I
got a permit for that.
pretty sure that, yeah. I mean, if you've got a film permit, they let you do damn near anything.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure John just says I do what I want.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, he said he has a permit for that.
Yeah,
I have a permit for that. This permit says you can do what you want. Exactly. Oh, there it goes. Let's see if it'll burst into flames. See, all my Saturn missile batteries would eventually burst into flames.
Yeah, you can see it kind of glowing down there. It had a small flame going.
See, if you open up the inside of a Saturn missile battery, there's a bunch of fuse inside. And eventually, all that fuse lights up, and it lights up everything. One big, and apparently that one did pretty good. So I'd be curious to know how many of those they had to go through that didn't burst into flames, or that did burst into flames before they got that one.
Yeah. Kind of want to get a couple packs of those little snappers.
Snap them up.
Just to screw with people on the job site.
You remember auto foolers? I don't know if they make them anymore. You can make your own, but call them auto
God.
It was based off of something that we called, and I'm not sure I can say it on YouTube, but African American chasers. Okay. Yeah. And it had two wires hanging out of it. And you would attach one to some electrical wire in a car and then put the other one on the ground. And when someone went in to start their car, this thing went boom. Which was hilarious.
I haven't thought about those since the 90s.
Exactly. I think they quit making them in the late 80s, actually. But you can make your own if you know how. And I won't exact. But if you've got the old school Christmas lights, that filament inside the Christmas light makes a great igniter for igniting gunpowder. Just saying. Okay.
Again, kids, do this under parental supervision. This is a STEM project.
How you get to it is your problem. But,
this is all for science and research on books for any of the Alphabet Mafia listening.
Wait a minute. Science! Okay, there we go. And anyway. Why does it remind me of that episode of Big Bang Theory where Penny started wearing glasses to look smarter?
Yeah, I know what scene you're talking about.
She goes, and she walks up to Sheldon, puts on the glasses, and goes, "Elements." He goes, and she's like, "Where are we going?" "The bedroom." "So I want you to take off all your clothes. Leave the glasses, maybe the boots." Yeah, it's But,
tell us another story, Uncle Joe.
Why am I suddenly getting posts about Kip Winger? Did he die or something?
Kip Winger?
Kip Winger, the lead singer from the band Winger.
I guess that's who I thought you were talking about.
I brought up my page, and all of a sudden, Kip Winger. No. Apparently, he's about 5 years older than I am. Apparently, he has not died. You know what's interesting?
Apparently, his birthday was the 21st.
Okay.
That explains it.
Okay, that might have been interesting enough. His first notable musical thing, he was in Alice Cooper's band. Apparently, he was a bass player.
85 to 88, he had part of Kicks in the Mob.
The Mob, Blackwood Creek. Oh, I didn't know he was at Blackwood Creek. Interesting. And he's done a lot of tribute albums, strangely enough. Space Trucking, a tribute to Deep Purple. Let me see. Oh, interesting. That's good to know. Makes you wonder sometimes where all these folks go. Just 1 minute they're MTV, the next minute they're A&P. They're like the parking lot of the supermarket. And do we still have A&Ps? Is that still a supermarket, or did it?
I know a few years ago they still existed because they had a licensing agreement with World of Warcraft for cups, and ended up getting 2 complete sets.
It says it's
I think that was the only one in the tri-state area. Sorry.
It says it's a defunct supermarket. Interesting. What does A&P stand for? It's from the title of their original company, which was the Great Atlantic and Pacific Tea Company. Atlantic and Pacific. Okay. And then, let's see. It was at one time the largest U.S. retailer of any kind, and was as well known as McDonald's or Google is today. Apparently, they ended in 2015. And they were huge. They were the East India Company of the United States. 2001 to 2015, the final years of a supermarket chain.
Hey, we got Atomic Snack Bar here too.
A what?
Atomic Snack Bar.
Oh, there we go. Hey. Okay, Atomic Snack Bar. I've seen them on our show occasionally. Joe knows who runs this thing. I do not remember the person's name. I do apologize because I would like.
I can't remember if it's Rod or Rob.
He'll have to tell us so that I can properly remember this thing. That's what happens when I run the show. Is I don't know anybody. So, well, I do, but I was in the military long enough to know to keep my mouth shut. So it's a good habit to get into. And what is it with all the flooding lately? It's like it's flooding everywhere sometime these days. Was it Florida was flooded? Now Iowa's flooded, and California. I mean, just
Minnesota too. Yeah, Don Sam was having some flooding.
Really? Here we go. Just some idiot named Rob. You have pretty much described the entire entourage of Stupid O'Clock right there. It's just, it's either some idiot named Joe, some idiot named John, some idiot named Dan, or some idiot named something else. You know me, John. What? Oh, well, yeah, I do know you. I just, like I said, if the cops ever show up and go, "Where is so-and-so?" I don't know them. Okay. I am the perfect straight guy when it comes to an alibi.
Not
Who? Where? What? When? How? Who? Is that all the pronouns?
Sorry, the tape on my tubing slipped, so suddenly things got very tight and very painful.
Oh. Ugh.
Yes. For those of you who don't know, Rich has been having surgery and is currently impersonating a board drone. And so, now, is it drainage tubing or is it put something in tubing? Just out of curiosity.
Drainage tubing.
Okay.
They removed a mass from my parotid gland, P parotid, which is a salivary gland on the lower right-hand side of my face. And apparently over a month worth of antibiotics wasn't enough to get rid of the infection and whatever the hell else was laying underneath. So they stabbed me in the face Tuesday. And now, thankfully, I mean, it's getting to the point where everything should be good. This should be able to be pulled out on Thursday. The amount of liquid that I have to empty out of the drain is damn near non-existent nowadays. I think there's more water in the Sahara.
I have been very fortunate throughout most of my life to be very healthy. About the only real problem I've had up until now has been teeth. And of course, now I'm getting older, my eyes are going. And had an army doctor about 20 years ago look at my eyes and go, "Do you have a history of glaucoma in your family?" No. Says, you might want to get that checked. Thanks. Do you have a history of car bombs in your family? You might want to get that checked. Hey, turnabout is fair play. And
only thing I have to worry about is macular degeneration.
Well, the other problem I have is my major medical nightmare. So, when I was stationed in Germany, one spring we went down to Waldflecken, West Germany, which is a major training area for the U.S. Army in Germany. We get down there, and it's springtime, and everybody wants to go down there and train in the spring. So we get down there, no temporary barracks for our people. So we had to draw tents and all that sort of stuff. And they put us in this area called Bivouac Mike, which if you know anything about Wildflecken, the concerns on this end, you got these two roads that run along the ridge line for your range that take you to all your different ranges. And at the very end of all those range roads where they turn around and come back toward the concern, that's Bivouac Mike. We're so far away from everything. We're in a different time zone. And so we're out there. And the only thing Bivouac Mike had going for it, they just put fresh gravel in the parking lot. That's it. That's it. That's all that's there is a parking lot, place to put up tents. And so we're out there and we're doing okay. We got our mobile kitchen trailer. We got our tents, cot. We're sleeping on cots, which is better than sleeping in mud. Weather's nice. It's springtime. Not a lot of rain. Just, not too hot, not too cold. It did get a little cold at night, so we had the heaters, but we had wood, and, just everything on. And so we're out there, and it's nice because nobody's screwing with you when you're out there. Just it's so far away. The only officers you see are your officers. You don't have to deal with any colonels or generals or any of that crap. No officers' wives that think that they run the concern or any other Burger King employees that think they can boss you around, shit like that. And so we're out there, we're doing our thing, and we're out in the motor pool, which the big gravel parking area. And we're out there, and we're doing an NBC class, nuclear, biological, and chemical class. And we pull out our NBC. Every platoon has an NBC box with all their radiac meters and chemical testing gear and stuff like that. So we pull it out, and the NBC sergeant's down there. Got the ramps down on the back of the ramp, on the back of the armored personnel carriers. And got all the stuff laid out. We're going through it. We're doing maintenance, 24/4s on the equipment. So we're doing, and I'm sitting here and we're doing we're going through the radiac meters, which is an Army version of a Geiger counter. Instead of being, it's not as specific as a Geiger counter. It's an area effect type thing. So if your area has been irradiated, you'll pick it up a lot quicker than you would with a Geiger counter.
Okay.
So we put the batteries in it, and we're doing the thing. We zero it out, and you zero it, it'll go up to 3. Well, that's odd. You zero it goes back up to 3. You're like, huh. So we call, and it's when you zero it out, it's supposed to go to 0.
Right.
So every time we zero it out, it goes up to 3. And everybody's is doing it. So we had to write it down at 24/4, would not zero. And he says, I'll get them checked out next time. I go talk to those folks. And we figured it was from the gravel, because they just put down brand new gravel in this parking lot area. It used to be a mud field. Okay. So they put down, and we figured it was radiation in the gravel. Just some natural. Wasn't a high level radiation, particularly, but So and the same thing with all the other radiation gear. It was all showing radiation. We take the battery and we clean everything up, wipe it down, dust it off, put it back in the NBC boxes, and pack it away. 3 days later, a bunch of buses show up. Military buses show up. So everybody grab your gear, get on the bus. Says, what? Says, we're putting you in barracks. I thought we didn't have barracks. We didn't have barracks for us. It says, there's this nuclear plant in Russia that just exploded. Okay. It's been dumping radiation on us for the last 3 days. Yes, I was living in a tent in West Germany when Chernobyl went up, and it was dumping all sorts of crap on us for 3.5 days before they figured it out.
Wow.
So anyway, we went back and we cleaned off we took showers. First thing, take showers, clean your gear, put your uniforms in the washing machines. So we were doing all that. It says, try not to stay outside too long. it's like, what?
That's the majority of your job is outside.
And then we had to hose down all the vehicles, and wash all our gear. And they came in. They literally had people come through with proper Geiger counters, and we get back to Berlin, and they start this whole regimen of took blood samples, urine samples, fecal samples, samples. This went on for like 6 months. It's just constantly coming back in. They would take hair samples, which was kind of hilarious considering you're getting our haircut every 2 weeks, and it's like. So anyway, and then they went and lost our whoever was doing all this lost our medical records, our paper medical records. This was back before they had everything on computer. So it's.
We got about 7.5 minutes left.
Oh, do we? You know what that means, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, so I'm wondering exactly how cancerous I am these days. I'm almost afraid to go to a doctor's office because I'll kill a doctor. Oh my God! How are you breathing? It's when I was a kid, the doctor would show up for your exam with a cigarette. Oh, you look pretty healthy, Mm-hmm. And nowadays it's like, oh my God, your cholesterol level your bad cholesterol is horrible, and your good cholesterol ain't that good.
My grandmother had a mini stroke back in the early 90s, and my mom was in there in the hospital room with her when one of the doctors came in. He's looking over her chart and he goes, "Gladys, I ain't got a clue why you're in here. Your stats are better than mine."
George Burns used to tell this joke, and it was hilarious. He would sit here on stage. He would light up a cigar.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be smoking a cigar. He'd look at the cigar real contemplatively. Says, my doctor told me I needed to quit smoking cigars. Says, that was 20 years ago. Yes. He died 5 years ago. Which, in my opinion, may have been George Burns' greatest joke of all time.
Right.
That and the Volkswagen joke. I wish I could find that somewhere. I've been having. There you go, Rich. See if you can find me the George Burns Volkswagen joke.
George Burns' old what?
George Burns Volkswagen joke.
Oh, Volkswagen. Okay.
Like Volkswagen Beetle. Yes. I've been trying to find it on YouTube and I can't find it. I've seen it once and just. The other one I love, they did a Mother's Day special on ABC. I think it was ABC. Did a Mother's Day special, and they had all the stars come on to this Mother's Day special with their mother. It showed Robin Williams and his mom. He didn't say 10 words the entire interview. His mom ran that show. And the first thing you do when you watch that is you can go, that's where Robin Williams gets that. Okay. It's just watching Robin Williams and his mom on the screen together. He was like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And strange enough, it's one of those things you can only find it on YouTube occasionally. They'll like show it for like a month and then it disappears again. All right, we got 4 minutes left on the show.
Yep.
See, I will go ahead and I'd like to thank everybody who showed up tonight. I'd like to thank Joe Jog for actually showing up on his own show. Then
That just hit all of us.
let's see. I assume we will not be doing Last Man Standing tonight, but you never know. Like I said in the comments, you never know because Dan's at a convention. He's drinking alcohol, so you may have a really interesting Last Man Standing tonight. Let's see here. See, Rich, Joe, I'd like to thank y'all for showing up tonight. I invited quite a few people. I invited Carl onto the show. He didn't take me up on it. Let me see. I'd like to thank Rob from Atomic Snack Bar and Donna and Chris. And, you know, there used to be this show when I was a kid called Romper Room. Yeah, okay. They used to have the magic mirror where she would hold it up in front of the camera.
And I see Bobby, I see Joe, and I see Mary,
Sarah, and Annie, and I keep wanting to do that. I need to get me one of those one day. I need it for a stupid clock prop. It's just a mirror frame with no mirroring. Anywho,
I'd always freak out when she said Richard or Rich or Rich or anything like that because I'm like,
we all have common
see
names.
me.
Joe, John, and Rich. I mean, it's probably mentioned our name every week. You never heard her say, Gustafa or or Mustafa or Enrique, Abdul. Abdul, I see you too. You see a bunch of people in the Muslim community going, oh, the white Anglo woman sees me. Okay. Oh, thank you for showing up, because just that one joke was hilarious. Okay. Let's see. Okay. It is that time of night where we all say good night, everybody.
Good night, folks.
Good night,
All
everybody.
right, folks.
Oh, I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.